Hey guys, right, Noel Clarke, he's back in the news again. Before I go any further, I've had my vaccine, everyone. Here's my sticker from the doctor. There you go, have my vaccine. Thank you for cheering for me. Had it today. I actually got 3 stickers. Yeah, because I'm special. They didn't give me the vaccine 3 times because that would be wasteful and very harmful. But yeah, so I got 3 stickers. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous, okay? So I've had the vaccine, and now let's focus on Noel Clarke. There's no connection between the two. But it seems weird. It was like literally a week ago, I was talking to you about the allegations when they broke, and now a week later, The Guardian have published new allegations based entirely on his time on Doctor Who. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, you probably want to watch this. Although if you're a Doctor Who fan, you probably don't want to watch this kind of thing or know about this kind of thing that was happening on your favourite TV show. But thankfully, guys, in the article they say that David Tennant, Doctor Who, at this time when Noel Clarke was on the show, behaved impeccably. So well done, David Tennant. Let's have a look at this, shall we? Please do read with me. I'll give you the highlights. It's quite a lot. It's another really long article. I mean, that doesn't bode well for Noel Clarke if all these articles about his supposed sexual harassment are all really long because they have so much information in. But have a look at this and see what you think. So here we go. Noel Clarke accused of sexual harassment on Doctor Who set. So it says here, BBC faces further questions as further allegations made about Clarke, and co-star John Barrowman is accused of exposing himself. So yes, I didn't mention John Barrowman, did I? But yeah, he's mentioned in this too, in a slightly different way, but it's still weird. So here we go. The Guardian say the Noel Clarke sexual harassment controversy threatens to embroil the BBC after several sources came forward to allege they were sexually harassed or inappropriately touched by the actor on a flagship show, Doctor Who. Another Doctor Who actor, John Barrowman, has also been accused of repeatedly exposing himself to co-workers on 2 BBC productions, prompting questions about whether the corporation allowed a lax culture on its sets during the mid-2000s. Now, the John Barrowman exposing himself stuff we'll get to, but I'm sure loads of you saw the resurfaced video from a Doctor Who convention in Chicago that came to light after the Noel Clarke allegations came out of him talking about how John Barrowman exposes himself on set. We'll get to that, but I'm sure you've all seen it, so I won't include that video in this video because it's been done to kind of death, really. Let's carry on. The developments come a week after ITV, Sky and the BBC announced that they had cut ties with Clarke after The Guardian published testimony from 20 women who variously accused him of groping, sexual harassment and bullying. Imagine having all those associated with your name. I mean, it's just shameful. Clarke, who vehemently denies any allegations of sexual misconduct, criminal wrongdoing or sexually inappropriate behaviour, including latest accusations, was also stripped of a BAFTA he was given earlier this month. Okay, let's just go to the new accusations here. So the accusers say these accusations, these allegations, these incidents all happened on the set of Doctor Who, and there's even more at the end about a promotional event for Doctor Who at which other stuff happened. Here is the first of the new allegations. Joanna Hayes was a costume assistant on Series 1 of the revived Doctor Who, shot in 2004. She alleges that Clarke sexually harassed her in his trailer in August 2004 after she assisted him with his costume. After a brief work-related conversation, she said Clarke told her that he liked girls with long hair as it gave him something to hold on to when doing them from behind. This is in quotes. Hayes, who had very long hair that came to her mid-back, said she made to leave the trailer because she felt uncomfortable. At this point, she alleges, Clarke repeated the comment, sucked his teeth, exhaled heavily, and laughed. Clarke's lawyers said he strongly denies the allegation and said the incident described did not take place. So basically what you're saying is, this didn't happen, so you're saying this woman is completely lying. Hayes said she did not report the incident to her bosses because at that time the culture was very different. However, she said the experience left her feeling uneasy near him and she avoided him as best she could. But that is terrible. Why would you say that to someone? And what was Noel Clarke expecting in return for saying that? Was he honestly expecting, if he said that to a woman, that she'd say, oh really? You like to do that? Well, you know, give me your phone number, let's hook up tonight. I think it's really, and it must have made her feel awful, terribly uncomfortable. Another woman, Jenna, not her real name, was a runner and driver on the early seasons of the revived Doctor Who, shot in the mid-2000s. As part of her role, she was required to drive Clarke to and from set. During these car journeys, she alleges Clarke touched her inappropriately. She said he would touch her hand when it was on the gear stick and grabbed her leg when she was driving. I've got to say, you know, yeah, That's bad, but also what about, it's not just sexual harassment, it's safety harassment, Noel Clarke. You shouldn't ever touch the driver of a car unless you have really, really valid reason. I'm being flippant, but I'm just making the point. In quotes, Jenna says, constantly the conversation was about sex, adding that Clarke repeatedly asked her to go to his hotel room for sex, asked her sexually inappropriate questions, and made sexually explicit and graphic remarks to her. She said she complained to an assistant director on the BBC show and as a result was put on different duties. It doesn't say they spoke to Noel Clarke, they just moved her to another job. She recalled telling the assistant director, I can't drive him anymore, I don't want to be on my own with him. She said she did not know where the senior executives were at the time also aware of Clarke's conduct. You know, it does say volumes when a woman says to you, if you're in an office situation and perhaps you're a manager and one of your female staff comes to you and says, I can't sit next to so-and-so at the desk because he keeps on making sexually inappropriate comments to me, that you, instead of saying, well, let's go talk to that guy and tell him to stop it, you decide, okay, let's just move the woman to another job. You know, really, you should believe her, and you're showing you believe her by talking to the person she's accusing. After Clarke realised that Jenna was no longer his driver, she alleges he turned nasty, telling her you think you're better than people and becoming obstructive and difficult. A fellow crew member who witnessed Clarke's behaviour towards Jenna described it as bullying. Here's another one. A Doctor Who actor who asked to remain anonymous has told The Guardian she was also sexually harassed by Clarke in the early seasons of the show. He made advances on me, she said, regularly asking me if I wanted a piece of his dark chocolate. And by the way, when he says that, he doesn't mean Cadbury's Bourneville. He means you know what. When she rejected his advances, the actor said Clarke badmouthed her to people in the industry. What a prince. Now, the article then goes on to talk about John Barrowman. But before we talk about John Barrowman, I wanted to go to the end of the article where it mentions yet another incident involving Noel Clarke. But this time, it's, outside the constraints of a film set. Clarke also stands accused of behaving inappropriately at an external function related to his role in Doctor Who. In May 2016, Lisa Graham volunteered at Bournemouth Film and Comic Con, held at the Bournemouth International Centre. She was assigned to help Clarke sign autographs and take photographs with paying fans. At this event, Graham alleges that Clarke sexually harassed her and touched her inappropriately under the table they were both sitting at. He would literally, in quotes, lean in and grab the outside of my thigh, Graham recalled. On one occasion, she said, Clarke attempted to touch her inner thigh. It started out on the knee, she said, but there was a point where he tried to lean towards my inner thigh and I physically moved my chair to get away. When women walked past their stand, Graham said, Clarke would rate them out of 10 in terms of sexual attractiveness and made derogatory and disrespectful comments. Now, I know thus far these are all allegations, but if I'm being really honest, this is looking really bad. I wonder what's going to come out next Friday. I'm just thinking, the allegations now are so numerous that I don't see how Noel Clarke can stand before anyone and say, every single one of these people is lying. To line up all these people, I mean, there must be what, close to now 25 women, if not going on 30, and to line them all up and say, all lying, every single one of them is not telling the truth, seems highly, highly unlikely. Now, let's have a little look into John Barrowman. Now, as I said earlier, there was that video going round of the Doctor Who convention in Chicago where Noel Clarke talks openly about John Barrowman apparently getting his you-know-what out on set and showing it off and acting like this was the most funny thing in the world. So this article confirms that what was in that video was actually true. It says here, several sources told The Guardian that Barrowman did indeed repeatedly expose himself on set, although they stressed that the context was different to the sexually predatory behaviour Clarke is accused of. Barrowman is gay, and his actions were described as misjudged, larking about and joking. I don't quite understand, what does being gay have to do with it? Why are we saying Barrowman is gay? So what, he's more likely to get his manhood out? I don't understand. Surely it doesn't matter what sexual bent you are. If you get your thing out, you're getting your thing out, and you shouldn't do it. Very strange they mention that. However, some Doctor Who crew members described an overly relaxed, at times unprofessional culture on set in the early seasons of the show. David Tennant, who joined the show in season 2, behaved impeccably, said Jenna, and to a certain extent, I think that helped rein things in. Wow, another point for David Tennant. Jenna said she frequently witnessed Barrowman expose himself on set. He would get his genitals out on a regular basis. He sort of just have his balls hanging out of his trousers or something, which he just thought was really funny, she said. On one occasion, Jenna said she witnessed Barrowman slapping his P-word on the windscreen of one of the driver's cars, thinking it was really funny. What do you say? What do you say about that? How would you feel if you were in your car waiting to pick up an actor and you found him outside banging his you-know-what on your windscreen? Let's read on. Monica had similar recollections. Sometimes he'd call me into his dressing room and I would knock on the door and he'd say, "Oh, look at this," and he'd just have his willy out. Standing in the doorway, she said. It was kind of accepted that this was his thing, she said. Well, it was definitely his thing. There's no doubt about that. She did not appreciate his behaviour or find it particularly funny. Monica stressed she did not feel unsafe. It just felt really uncomfortable, she said. So even though Barrowman did expose himself, which is wrong and I think unlawful, it didn't make any of the women feel on set that they were being approached in a predatory way as they were, apparently, by Noel Clarke. Well, what do you think, guys? I just wanted to show you my dog because you probably heard noises in the background. Last week when I did my video on Noel Clarke, I wasn't actually filming video, I was just recording my voice, so you could only hear him. But here he is! Yes, say hello, Flash. Say hello, yes. There's no allegations against you, don't worry. Well, apart from the fact that you're a bit mean to some of the cats in the neighbourhood. But you deny those, don't you? No one's going to drag you online. Anyway, let me know what you think about this, guys. I don't really know, what more's going to come out. But that's what The Guardian... You can look up the article for yourselves. Go to The Guardian website. It's like trending very high on their searches. And thanks for watching, and see you soon. Thank you. All right, thank you for licking me, darling. That's very kind of you. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Aren't you a nice dog? Yes.